Shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all praises, honors, and glories to Yahweh Ba'Hashem, Yahweh Shai Ba'Hashem, Rakakwadash, and the march of the apostles and elders of great millstone. Salutations to the hopeful elect. This is your brother, I'm Noah Allah, from Jimma, Chicago, and coming back with you with another lesson. Going on to the news, right, because what you see here is going according to prophecy, alright, that in these latter days, that we would see, wars and rumors of wars, pestilence, earthquakes, and famines in diverse places, or as what is read in Matthew. I'm gonna go ahead and bring it out real quick because, hey, we're living in a time where prophecy is coming to pass, all right. And this is Matthew 24, and I'm gonna start at verse 3. It says, And as he sat upon the Mount of Olives, and the disciples came unto him privately, saying, Tell us, when shall these things be? And what shall be the sign of thy coming and the end of the world? The end of the world going into Esau's end of the world, the end of an age. Alright? This is what it's really talking about. He says forever an unbroken age, perpetuity of time or eternity. So basically, a period of time, an end of an age. And right now we're living at the end of Esau's rulership. We're living at the end of Esau's end of the world, all right? and these are the signs and these are the signs of the times that we're seeing. They're showing you that we're at the end of Esau's world when we see these prophecies that are coming to pass. It says, And Yahweh answered, and he said unto them, Take heed that no man deceive you, for many shall come in my name, saying, I am Mashiach, and shall deceive many. And yet, there are false prophets out there, still teaching damnable heresies, still teaching false doctrines, all right, that are leading people astray, our people. That are leading our people astray. It says, And ye shall hear of wars and rumors of wars. See that ye be not troubled, for all these things must come to pass, but the end is not yet. And that's right. What we're seeing, is U.S. and Iran war, right? It has escalated again. All right. Trump says U.S. and Iran ceasefire still. Still in place after exchange of fire in Strait of Hormuz. So there was a ceasefire for a while, but then escalations ramped up real quick. Right? After months of war with Iran, people across the U.S. says they're feeling a strain of higher gas prices. People are suffering, of this inflation and the toll that is taking on this economy. People are having to pay more for gas, right? U.S. fires on 2 Iran-flagged tankers as Rubio says U.S. expects response on peace deal today. All right. So basically, this is the war of Armageddon. It's not going to stop because it's going according to prophecy as what is spoken in the scriptures. All right, what the apostles and others great millstone have been telling you for many years now. All right, that these times that would come, and now here we are living in it. All right, these prophecies are no longer tarrying. All right, it says for all these things must come to pass, but the end is not yet. And that's right. The end is not yet because, hey, we still see these prophecies that are coming, right? We're in the beginning of sorrows as of right now, but the end has come yet because the fulfillment of Revelations 13 and 16 still hasn't even came to pass just yet. All right, but we're seeing it. All right, they have it. All right, it's ready up in place. All right. The MOTB is ready to be implemented because what? You're seeing the deterioration of the global economy. All right. They're going to eventually do away with this with paper. All right. And we're going basically the entire world. All right, is going to move into a global, cashless society. All right. A cashless society. All right, by the way of the offer the microchip, all right, which Esau will implement very soon. All right. It says, for nation shall rise against nation and kingdom against kingdom. Wars overseas, conventional wars, all right, race wars that are soon to come here on America. All right, and there shall be famines and pestilences and earthquakes in diverse places, and that's right. Famines. All right, speaking about famines, all right, the Strait of Hormuz is still closed. All right, which is driving the cost of energy to go up. Gasoline prices, about be about $9 real soon, or even 10. All right, truckers having to face that cost too. Which later on will lead on to hyperinflation, because you know it will soon affect agriculture. All right, transportation of food, but there'll be a food available, but not available for certain places. All right, which as what we call a famine, right? A scarcity of food. All right, you're about to see empty shelves. You're about to see a lot of you're about to see a lot of empty shelves and a lot of layoffs in these last days. All right, because that's what we're in. All right, an economic depression 2.0. All right, people are about to start losing their jobs, as what you see happened at the airport not too long ago. All right, Spirit Airlines laying off. Well, yeah, Spirit Airlines now over 17,000 people without a job. All right, tech companies, laying off people, businesses going out of business. All right, grocery stores, closing down. All right, Walgreens closing down. All right, you hear all the time in the news. All right, businesses are closing down as we speak of right now. All right, it's only going to get worse. It says, and there shall be famines and pestilences and earthquakes in diverse places. And not too long ago, all right, you got the new hantavirus. All right. Well, it's not really new, but it's really out there in the mainstream media. Everybody's seeing it. Everybody's worrying about a second lockdown, which there will be a second lockdown. And for those who took the jump, what? All right. All right. Now their immune systems have been infected. All right. But nonetheless, this is the Lord releasing these plagues and pestilences upon these people. All right. Yeah, this one is pretty interesting too. If I can find it. Damn. Man. Well, now this is on the news. All right, you're seeing the pestilences. All right, they're and it's already here in the United States. All right, Hanta virus, U.S. Yeah, in 5 states in America, in 5 U.S. states, now have reported of cases of the rat virus. All right. All right, we say it's pestilences and earthquakes in diverse places. All these are the beginning of sorrows, and that's right. We know we're living in the beginning of sorrows. All right, you're going to be basically seeing a lot of mass death. All right, people are starving to death. People, breaching into each other's homes, martial law. All right, and hey, all this is is the lead up to the implementation of the offer-the microchip that will come to pass. All right, that is prophesied in the scriptures that the apostles and others great Muslims have been warning you about for many years. All right, that device that will be implemented underneath people's skin will be the new way of buying and selling. All right, and we understand that those who take it will be destroyed, according to Revelations, the 14th chapter. All right. But nonetheless, here is Jeremiah 28 and 8. Because, hey, here we are, to this very day, all right? We're set up as watchmen, to, warn you of the things to come, all right? Of these prophecies that are about to come to pass. And this is all the news that we give you, all right? The prophets that have been before me and before thee of old prophesied both against many countries and against great kingdoms of war and of evil and of pestilences. And that nobody else is doing this. Nobody is warning you of these things to come but the prophets, the men of the Lord, particularly Great Millstone. Alright? The Christian churches and shit like that, they ain't gonna warn you about these prophecies that are about to come to pass. Alright? These other false camps like IOSC and ISUPK and so on and so forth, they ain't warning you about the prophecies that are coming to pass. They ain't warning you about the RFID microchip that will be soon be implemented globally. Alright, the new way of buying and selling. Alright, by the way of the swipe of the hand. Alright, they ain't warning you about these prophecies. But hey, the only camp that has 100% truth is Great Millstone. Alright, we're warning you of these things that are coming to pass. We're warning you of these calamities that the Lord is about to bring upon this earth. Alright. Alright, the Lord is basically going to use Esau as that sword, alright, to come down with judgment upon you, 2/3 of Israel. Alright. Alright, because right here, Great Millstone, alright, according to the scriptures, alright, we're not here to prophesy to you about peace and love and all this, that, and the third. No. Alright. We're set up as watchmen to warn you of the things to come. We're warning you about wars. We're warning you about evils and pestilences, alright? That's what we're set up here to do so, alright, to get the blood off our hands. And that's right, here, Habakkuk 2:1, I was set upon my watch and will set me upon the tower and will watch to see what he will say unto me, and what I shall answer when I am reproved. And the Lord answered me, I said, write the vision and make it plain upon tables, that he may run that readeth it. So that, you make these visions plain upon table. Alright, breaking you down these prophecies that are about to come to pass. And we're letting you know what time that we're living in. Alright, and what to expect. Verse 3, for the vision is yet for an appointed time, but the end shall speak and not lie, though it tarry, wait for it, because it will surely come and will not tarry. And none of these prophecies are tarrying anymore. Alright, you have the wars, the rumors of wars, the pestilences, the famines that are about to be developed in a whole new other level, especially here in America. Alright, we're warning you about the earthquakes too. Alright, we're warning about the future prophecies that will come to pass, such as, the destruction of America, alright, by the way of thermonuclear missiles, alright. And most importantly, we're warning that will be soon be implemented globally, alright, that will be made mandatory. And all this, what you're seeing here, all these news and world events that you're seeing here on the news, alright, this is going to be leading up to the RFID. This is going to be leading up to the implementation of the RFID microchip. Alright, you have an energy crisis. You have now a new pestilence. I mean, not just one, but many more. Alright, that are about to be released, or maybe already have been released. But hey, we're in the beginning stages of another lockdown. Alright, another lockdown is about to happen. And Esau, alright, nobody likes these lockdowns, right? Nobody likes these lockdowns, alright? With them, so come out with that. Alright, you want to travel, you want to continue doing the things that you love. Alright, you want to protect your family, this, that, and the third. Alright, all that crap. take this chip. All right, this is what Esau is beginning to plan. Well, beginning to implement real soon. All right, and is doing it by the way, you know, by the way of a polycrisis. All right, you're having all these events that are happening at once. All right, you got energy crisis. You got new viruses and shit that are ramping up all over the world. All right, they're about to restrict your travel. They're about to restrict your movement. All right, but what Esau wants to do is that he wants to monitor you. All right, he wants to implement an RFID microchip underneath your skin. All right, to track and trace you. Basically, have total control over you. All right, this is what's about to happen. All right. And hey, past lockdown, all right, which happened with the CV, you know what? All right, that took a toll on the U.S. economy. All right, well, not just the U.S. economy, but globally. All right, and when they come down with the second lockdown, all right, best believe that a lot of businesses are about to go out of business. All right, a lot of people are about to lose their minds because they're not going to be able to afford the things like they used to, 3 or 5 years ago, because everything is about to get real expensive. But yeah, it says induced, induced lockdowns caused most severe global economic disruption since the Great Depression of the 1930s, far exceeding the impact of the 2008 financial crisis. Lockdowns and voluntary social distancing triggered a massive contraction in global GDP, a sharp rise in unemployment, and significant supply chain disruptions, resulting in an estimated 14 trillion toll on the U.S. economy alone by the end of 2023. And that's right. This is basically what happened. When you add that with a lockdown with the energy crisis, which Americans are paying more for gas. All right, and not only that, not only just Americans paying more for gas, but a disruption on cargo too, because everything's a domino effect. All right, you got truckers having to face the cost of fuel prices. All right, companies having to eat that too. All right, and now you got another lockdown that's on its way. All right, which will cause a lot of businesses to go out of business, basically. And hey, this is basically gonna be a perfect this is gonna be a perfect storm. All right, to basically do away with this current monetary system and to implement a digital monetary system by the way of the RFID microchip. All right, this is how Esau is gonna do it. All right, an economic collapse, doing away with cash. But nonetheless, this is what's coming. All right. We can see that the implementation of the RFID microchip is not too far off. All right. It's not too far off. All right. You already have what? You have self checkouts. All right. You have facial recognition. All right. You have basically AI being advanced. All right. You look at China. They got them marathon with them robots running and shit. All right. this is what's ultimately coming down to the pipe. Alright? You know, like a grain of rice. Size of a grain of rice. You already know what they're doing over there in Sweden, alright? They already been having it. Right, you know, it's already here, but the only thing that's left is to, you know, create a crisis and to implement it, all right? And now, you know, we're facing a poly crisis. But nonetheless, hope the system was edifying. I want to give all praises, honors, and glories to Yahweh Ba'Shem, Yahweh Shai, Shalom.